Feeling like you're running on a treadmill, working harder but not getting ahead? You're not alone. It feels like every time you check your bank account, the numbers just don't stretch as far as they used to. Groceries cost more, that dream vacation seems further away, and even just filling up your car feels like a major expense. You might think, am I doing something wrong? Did I miss a memo on how to manage my money? Let me tell you right now, this isn't your fault. You are not failing at personal finance. What you're experiencing is the very real, very tangible effect of big economic forces, specifically something called interest rates. And what's fascinating is that this pressure feels different depending on whether you re in the United States or in Europe. So let's pull back the curtain on this complex topic and make it simple. So, what exactly are interest rates? Forget the complicated charts and financial news jargon. At its core, an interest rate is simply the cost of borrowing money. Think of it like a rental fee. When you borrow money, you pay a little extra for the privilege of using it. This rental fee is set by central banks, the Federal Reserve, or the Fed in the US, and the European Central Bank, or the ECB, in Europe. These banks are like the financial thermostats for their economies. When the economy is running too hot and prices are rising too fast, inflation, they raise interest rates to cool things down. When the economy is sluggish, they lower rates to encourage spending and borrowing, heating things up. Now, let's break down how this actually touches your daily life. We'll look at it from three angles: your savings, your loans, and your job. First, let's talk about savings. When central banks raise interest rates, it's generally good news for your savings account. The bank pays you more for keeping your money with them. So that emergency fund or down payment you rebuilding up starts to grow a little faster on its own. In the US, when the Fed raises rates, you might see high-yield savings accounts offering returns you haven't seen in years. It's a direct incentive to save rather than spend. In Europe, the ECB's rate changes have a similar effect, but the starting point and speed of change can be different, meaning savers in Germany might see a different return than savers in the US at the same moment. So, a higher rate means your saved money is working harder for you. But here's the other side of the coin: loans. If you're looking to borrow money, higher interest rates mean that rental fee just went up. This is where the pain often comes from. The most obvious example is a mortgage. When interest rates rise, the cost of getting a home loan goes up significantly. A 1 or 2% increase can add hundreds of dollars to your monthly payment, potentially putting homeownership out of reach for many. This has been a huge story in the US, where rapid rate hikes by the Fed cooled a red-hot housing market almost overnight. In Europe, the situation is more varied. Many European countries have different mortgage structures, sometimes with rates fixed for longer periods. So while new buyers feel the sting, existing homeowners might be insulated for a while. It's not just mortgages either. Car loans, credit card debt, and personal loans all become more expensive. That new car or home renovation project suddenly has a much higher price tag over the long run. Finally, let's connect this to your job and the overall economy. This is the big picture view. When central banks raise rates, their goal is to slow down spending. If borrowing is expensive, both people and businesses pull back. You might decide against that new TV, and a company might postpone building a new factory. When this happens on a large scale, the economy slows down. Sometimes this is exactly what's needed to get inflation under control. But if they hit the brakes too hard, it can lead to a recession, which can mean job losses. This is the delicate balancing act that the Fed and the ECB are constantly performing. In the US, the job market has been surprisingly resilient despite rate hikes, but the fear of a slowdown is always there. In Europe, which is a collection of many different economies, the impact can be uneven. A country like Germany, which is heavily reliant on manufacturing and exports, might feel a global slowdown more acutely than a country more focused on tourism, for example. So the decisions made in those big, official-looking bank buildings have a direct ripple effect on job security and economic opportunities for everyone. Now, why the difference between the US and Europe? It boils down to their unique economic situations. The US economy is a single, massive entity. The Fed makes decisions for one country, one currency, and one labor market. Europe is different. The ECB sets a single interest rate for the 20 countries that use the euro. But these countries have vastly different economies. Germany's economy isn't the same as Spain's or Ireland's, so a rate that might be perfect for cooling inflation in one country could risk causing a recession in another. This makes the ECB's job incredibly complex. They have to find a one-size-fits-most solution, which often means they act more cautiously or at a different pace than the US Fed. Furthermore, the US saw a huge amount of government stimulus spending during recent crises, which fueled consumer demand and inflation differently than in Europe. The war in Ukraine also had a much more direct and severe impact on European energy prices, creating a different kind of inflation problem for the ECB to solve. These underlying differences are why you see their interest rate paths diverge, creating slightly different financial weather on each side of the Atlantic. So let's bring it all back home. You feel the squeeze when you go shopping. You feel the stress when you look at mortgage rates. You might feel uncertain about the job market. This isn't a personal failure. It's you experiencing the ripple effects of a global economic adjustment. Central banks in the US and Europe are using the primary tool they have, interest rates, to try and create stability. But this tool is blunt. It doesn't affect everyone equally. It helps savers but hurts borrowers. It can cool inflation but at the risk of slowing down the economy. Understanding this doesn't magically put more money in your pocket, but it does offer a new perspective. It helps you see that these pressures are part of a larger cycle. It's not about hype or finding a secret trick to get rich quick. It's about calmly understanding the landscape. Knowing why your savings account is suddenly earning more, or why a loan is more expensive, gives you the power of context. It allows you to make informed decisions for your own financial life, not based on panic, but on a clear-eyed view of how the world works. The next time you hear a news report about the Fed or the ECB, you'll know it's not just abstract noise. It's a conversation that will shape the cost of your groceries, your housing, and your future. Keep learning, stay curious, and you'll be better equipped to navigate whatever comes next. Thanks for watching.